So let me set the stage for you. It's August or July of 2002. I'm about 21 years old. I'm walking around the Giant, just getting into my comic book bag, and I see this cover right here. I had never purchased anything so fast in my life. I bought this book the second I saw it. I think I forgot what I was going to get at the grocery store. And in this issues, I was introduced to the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one and only Isaiah Bradley, and how Marvel was going to be rolling out a story based off of the success of their other stories. Like, I think it was Born with the Punisher, how they were going to explore the true origins of Captain America and how the first super soldier was actually a black man. And they brought it out by how it was going to be like involved with the syphilis and the Tuskegee experiments. And they were like, yeah, if we said to you that they just did this on a blonde, blue-eyed white kid from Brooklyn, no matter how frail he was, do you think they would have done the experiment on him first? No, they would have tested this on a few black folks, and we know they would have. At that moment, I was hooked. I was like, damn, this is what we're going to get. I was so ready for this book, and then they announced truth, red, white, and black. From the way the silhouette had the do-rag, all this, I was so ready for this book. And then we got the first issue, and I realized the art wasn't going to be what I thought it was going to be. See, that original piece we had got was from Joe Quesada. We've been doing things like the Black Panther and Daredevil for Marvel Knights, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to be doing the art. No, the art we got was done by Kyle Baker, who I was familiar with growing up because of Jet Magazine, and they had little like comic shorts inside the magazine at times. What's that Ebony magazine? I know I grew up seeing his art before, so while I was expecting more of a comic booky vibe, the cartoonist style did work for it. And Robert Morales' story was amazing, but here's what we got like the second thing. The story starts after Pearl Harbor with our main characters all joining then. Now, I said, I wasn't the comic reader back then that I am now, but I do think that I knew that Captain America had debuted before Pearl Harbor. So, what happened? What changed? I thought we were supposed to get this whole story about how this guy was the first Captain America, not the first reproduction of Captain America, if you will. So, the way Axel Alonso explained it is like, yeah, this was supposed to be based in American history and have been like the first Captain America. But along the line, something changed, and at first it was supposed to be an out of continuity story, which is why it started after Pearl Harbor. And then around issue 4 or 5, I think we find out that Captain America always exists, which was like the kicker to everybody else, like, wait, what? And then after that, Marvel decided to actually make him a part of regular Marvel continuity. So gone was the first Captain America story. And what we got instead was the introduction of a new Captain America. Anyone that's read Isaiah Bradley's story in the comics or seen it on the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is a little bit of a retelling, knows that things didn't go that well for him after he donned this costume. He was a prisoner of war. It was a whole thing. I do like that the comic did address this with Cap in the final issue, understanding who this man was and paying his respects to him. And we have seen his son, Hosea X, pop up, and his grandson, Eli Bradley. Mine kind of freaked out there. It was like Elijah? Eli Bradley, who was the Patriot, pop up in the Young Avenger. So his legacy is pretty substantial within the Marvel Universe. But if he had actually been able to do that whole first Captain America thing, it just would have gave that realism to the origin of Captain America that I feel, lack of a better term, would have made it more grounded. I don't know. It's comic books. Who wants realism, right? You tell me, do you remember seeing the first Captain America, and were you confused when the story came out and it wasn't what they originally told us it was going to be?